Right, people, we're finally here. 7 minutes after the event. Right, at least we got it. God knows where that went. Right. Anywhere we go from from where we live. Where are you from? West Midlands. Where in the West Midlands? Owls are in. What's that near? It's in the Black Country near Stourbridge, Dudley, Kidderminster. Huh? Birmingham, mate. I'm from Birmingham. That's what we used to say when we joined the mob. They called me Brummy, but you couldn't tell them, you're Brummy. Right, let's get going. This is from last week. This was Rosie halfway through. I dived under the bloody bed covers. And that's how it ended up, flaked out, luckily. Also from last week, if you can remember when we went down Bree, we took the hound down. And we saw this on the beach. And I've been told since it's a seal cup.
Yeah.
Somebody said a YouTube told me on there. Map timeline in June. They go very fair. Don't have that many tours. Right, this is a bird's eye view, obviously. Abbey Road allotments, which just shows how close we are. Cradley Town Football Club. And there's Caslon Primary School. That's where the missus worked, and that's when I was involved with the kids. So, looking at our allotment side, I'm still involved with the 2 trading sheds. Still run them there. If you can remember, our oldest tin shack was moved up to Cradley Town, which is just up the road here. And that was placed there, and that's got all our marquee equipment in. That's Cradley Town football pitch itself. And that's the venue which we use for our general meetings. And that's a nice flat grass 5-a-side pitch, and that's where we have our marquee, or this year 2 marquees. Caslon Primary School, there's only 1 road down here, which is a cul-de-sac, so it's nice and quiet. There's only that 1 road, meaning it's quiet on the allotments as well, which I'm surrounded by fields. It's quiet there, and it's quiet Caslon. That's the ground Caslon have got. They've got a full-size football pitch here. That's when I run the kids' football team. They got a 5-a-side football pitch here. And that's the ground there where I did the school allotment. I'll zoom in a bit. I know it's blurred, but that's the tunnel. There's raised beds below that, raised beds above it, then sheds and what else up there. Just close that up, and I live about there. So pretty local, luckily to everything. Right, one thing you need to do this weather, if you got a greenhouse, shade the glass. I did mine 5 days ago. Any flower will do, just make a paste with some warm water in a cup. Get your brush ready, because it gets really warm in there. And just bung it on. 3 seconds is dry. And it does make a difference going in there now. You can see where it keeps the sun off everything. And it is perfect. So far, because the sun here ends up over there, coming in that end, but by then it ain't too hot. So I can get away with chilies anyway. And also, in the greenhouse, I water the floor, keep the humidity better. And also in the tunnel, this lot is watered. The sides of them beds and the floor itself. Like my seaweed, which I borrowed from Breen last week, this was laid out, that's dry now. And I've turned him over, and within half hour, the other lot was dry. The last lot of rain we had, rain and winds, which was last Saturday, when heavens opened, splattered everything, and it splattered all my dailies as well. I can't tie these up anymore, but it splattered that much. So what I'm going to do with the first one is cutting back. But entangled in there, you can just about make him out, is a honeysuckle. So I've got to untangle that first, because he was pulling off a wire from this end. There we are, untangle the chap. So I've sent that one that road. Now I can take the delphinium out without chopping everything else, which I have done there. I'm still going to leave a couple of shoots in there. You can see the stumps. I mean, I know it's there anyway. But all we got to do now, and I've done this since I've had my delphiniums, is give him a nice water and a feed, and that's a pick me up again. Eventually he will give you another show of flowers. They'll only be half of what you've had before, but at least you get a second brew off it, and that won't be long. Right, this was last Saturday, Amber's show. I had this lot in the post, obviously a couple of days before. I was judging the veg there. I got my lunch vouchers, which I used. That was for a guest if somebody else went. But sorting everything out. Whatever show you're judging, you got to go by their schedule, meaning the schedule they're using the RHS rulebook, which I've got anyway. But there weren't that much to do. And these, which I do carry, I've got these spare if anybody wants them. That's an MVS ring. That's a Sherlock 30mm ring. That's what I normally carry in my briefcase as well. And my cards, which I'll put out. If anybody can do better on exhibiting the judge, then I'll leave my card, tell them what to do, just to impress me better next time. But all this lot I didn't need, because there weren't that much veg. And there's my cards. As I've come out the MVS, I'm just chopping that lot off. So it's just got judges' comments and my name. 2 lots of scales I usually check as well. That's for onions, anything like that. Didn't need to take them. What I did take 4 empty bags, which we'll see later on. And 3 lots of my compost book, because at 11:30 till 12, 2:30 till 2, I was doing a Q&A session with my mate, and that's when I was flogging them at the end. Right, turning up. I think it near enough rained all day. Drizzle, then some good downpours, but it was a naff day. Luckily it was only a 1-day event, but everybody was bloody drenched anyway. But just walking into the event, going past here, and I saw this little chap, another canner. Good variegated leaf, and that's the flower on it when it comes on, Tropicana. So as you can see there, put my name on it and they put it away for me. Normal agricultural show. This is agricultural, not horticultural. I think it was classed as a countryside show, but it was loads of stuff there. That was the marquee for the horticultural side of it, and the cakes, jams and all that. So he legged it in there. I think judges started at 9, we had the brief at 9, started about 15:15. And that was it. That was the judging veg. Enough turnout. And I've told her I'll help her out next year if they want it. And they says, well, last year the judge said exactly the same. I says, well, the judge wore much cop. I said, if you want sorting out, I'll sort it out. I.e., get your classes in, because you only get 2 table rows full of stuff there. I said, have you got the money to put more exhibits on classes? I says, yes. I'll sort it out. I says, you got nothing for kids. I says, Yeah, I says, well, so some kids, I says, we have a class for kids, one herb veg, one fruit, and one flower. And they put in what they want. Oh, good idea. I said, right, I'll sort it out with that as well. So this lot here, once I've judged them, I put them right at the back. And the cards come on the front. Some judges put the card right on the exhibit. Why? Are you hiding something? Just bloody leaving let the public see what they're in. And if that ain't worth a first prize, then I'll just give it a second prize and tell him why. But I left about 5 cards out, meaning I was finished in quarter of an hour. Then I had a perv around what everybody else is doing. But it could be a good show. And I sat down with a table. I think there was 5 of them. These was from WI group somewhere down south, and talking away. And hers booked us up next year to give their WI group a talk, which is good on them. Shire horses. Look at the size of them. If he's a big one, what's going to come out the back end? A good one. So just walking around, found out where the chap lives, or one of them. This was the marquee where we was doing our spiel, our Q&A. If we look on that one there. Just got hosted by Reg Mole, yes, Mick Poltney and Robin Pierce. He'd turn up. We've had him for a talk at our garden a couple of years ago. It's a bit pricey, but he had COVID, he'd turn up. Only me and Reg Mole. But even on there, they don't tell the public nothing. As I told them originally, I says, when you put my name on, put on what I'm my best bits are composting, i.e. garden question time, composting, raised beds, no dig, soft food and all this crap they put sod all on. We only got a house full because we rounded them up ourselves. But I said I'll sort it out next time. Look at that. Gold. Right, went to see our mate, was he's dropped a bit of treasure there, so I found a stick, picked it up. It's one of my bags done. I'll take another bag out. Pig crap, he wouldn't let me in because of the swine flu and all this. Nothing could go offside. I think it's a bit runny anyway. These chaps weren't leaving many deposits because the judging was going on. I couldn't go in there anyway. And these little chaps here, Rasta sheep. What a shame. If he keeps banging his head on the side. Couldn't get them up either, but these were huge. Alpacas. They haven't got much muck. And I saw these, I got these giant tortoise for the kids. And I thought, So I went and see him when he finished talking to the kids. And I asked him about the muck. He says, help yourself, mate. It's in the bin out the back. So that's another new one on trialing. Lowell was there, met up with him. He come the first Q&A with his missus. I booked him up again, get us some more compost. He's getting it for us next Saturday. He's a good lad. And he bought me a cider, as you do. Couldn't turn him down. Oh, good lad. So coming away from there was where am I? Aluka or Alusa, however you pronounce it. Them are nice little ones. And Crocosmia, which is a yellow. And when I got home, I was knackered, and I just had a night on the rum and coke. Boston night. Next day, Asda, all the stuff I can't get from Lidl. And coming out, I got old books on you. Just put a quid or something in the till. While I was there, I saw another 2 plants, so I got them. And it's a shopping. And these 4 books. There's them two which I bought at Asda. Thought I got them gaps there. I remember I got them out last week. So these two going in. Right, our first speaker, Andy Wright. Are you ready, sir?
I certainly am, Mick.
Good man, all yours.
Right, my nephew came round to the garden the other week and I gave him quite a few plants and he was talking about where's all the pests and all that. Well, I pointed to the bird feeders and I said, I get plenty of birds coming down, so they take the majority of the pests, so I'll never spray. Anyway, that is a greenfinch. That's in my garden, taken to the kitchen window. They're on the red list now. They're in, they're getting a bit scarce. Now, in 2005, they were one of the most common birds in the garden. But since then, they've been getting infections in the throat. Trichomoniasis, I think you call it. So you have to make sure your bird feeders are clean. Anyway, next slide, Mick. That's a robin. I mean, everyone's got robins, haven't they, in the garden? They're one of the most favourite birds. They've got an average lifespan of 2 years. And a quarter of them die within the first year. Okay, next one, Mick. Right, that's in my garden as well. It's taken on the top of the hawthorn tree, and it's got mile a minute coming through, Russian vine. It was chucking it down with rain. I haven't got a pond, but it just happened to be sitting there. So just snuck a shot with a camera and that's it. Okay, next one, Mick. Long-tailed tits. My wife's favourite, they are. They're the, just I've got some notes somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, they go round in family groups, anything up to 21 together. And you get 2,000 feathers in one nest. Okay, next one, Mick. We all know what they are.
Evil
pigeons.
Thing. Moving on.
Yeah. Moving on. Now, you mentioned last week, Mick, you had that, there was a moth, a butterfly, a moth. That's a 7-spot burnet moth, and it's just hatched out of its cocoon. That's not in my garden, by the way. That's a photograph that I took. I think the one you had last week is what they call a variable burnet moth. Okay, next one. That's on purely for interest. Right, a goldfinch. Very common bird now. Well, it is in my garden. They're on the green list, which means they're not endangered at all. They've started coming round to more gardens now. They didn't used to be so common at one time in people's, but now with people feeding them, they're coming around. They like Niger seed. Okay, next one, Mick. Right, that is a collared dove. They nested for the first time in this country in 1956. That was in Norfolk, and the place was a secret. No one knew where it. Well, obviously people did know, but they kept it as a secret. Since then, they've spread. They've come over. They're from Eastern Europe originally. They first bred in Hungary in 1932, in Austria 1938, in Germany 1943, and the Netherlands 1947. So they spread them, they've monitored the spread right away across, and 1956 in this country for the first time. Okay, next one, Nick. A buzzard. That's above my garden. I just happened to be out with the camera photographing the flowers, and the buds would come over. I did have chickens up until earlier on this year. They will take a chicken. They will take a small dog. So, yeah, be careful. Yeah, that's a blue tit. That's after we groomed the last dog, we just chucked the fur down outside, and the birds always use it for the nests. Okay, next one, Mick. That's a bullfinch. That was in my garden as well, you know, just as taken through the kitchen window. We don't see those very often now, but there used to be pests at one time, taking all the buds off the, you know, all the new buds off the fruit trees. Okay, next one, Mick. A jay.
Yeah.
Now, as I say, we get them in our garden as well, and there's, they will take small birds. They're a member of the crow family, you know. So yeah, they're very pretty birds. They're very skittish. Okay, next one, Mick. Right, that is. I looked into the window, couldn't figure out what it was at first. It's an Asian glossy starling. Now, 4 months ago or thereabouts, with the storms that were wreaking havoc with the country, part of the tropical house roof blew off Chester Zoo. About 4 months ago, and some of these escaped. And that particular one was seen by the lion enclosure 4 months ago. Next thing you know, it turns up in my garden 4 months later, 3 miles from the zoo. Okay, next one. Oh, that's the nuthatch. There was a couple of other shots of that Asian starling, but that's a nuthatch. It's a classic pose, complete with peanut in its beak. We get those as well. Okay, next one, Mick. That's a blackbird, a male blackbird. If you look at its beak closely, you see it's got loads and loads of grain. You see, can you zoom in on the beak, Mick? See all that grain on the end, you know, holding it in its beak. How on earth it gets it all in there and still hangs onto it and blowed it for now? But that's a male blackbird. Everyone's got one of them in the garden. Okay, next one. That's the nuthatch again, another classic pose on the nut feeder. There's just a picture of the fence behind that. It was a bit dark, hence it being black. But okay, next one, Mick. A dunnock, hedge sparrow. Yeah, it's a beautiful bird, but they're more insectivorous. You look at the beak on that. bred for catching insects. By the way, I'm still suffering with COVID. I've had it for over a week. It's wiped me out. I've lost over a stone in weight at the moment. I'm absolutely knackered. Okay, next one, Mick. That's a great tit. Again with the dog fur. Nothing gets wasted. We chuck the dog fur out. We feed the birds. The birds come along, take the caterpillars, take the insects. As I say, your garden can be too tidy, and you got to make room for nature. And nature, if you get everything right, you don't have to spray. I never spray. I don't want to kill the insects. I don't want to kill the birds. We've got a hedgehog in the garden as well. The dog ragged out from under the hedge. Okay, next slide, Mick. That's the Asian glossy starling again. Another picture of it there. I mean, it's a fruit eater. That's what they live on. I managed to catch it in the end. I got in touch with Chester Zoo. They come down with a trap, a funnel trap for trying to catch it. and they put fruit in it. It was interested in the fruit. I just opened the fruit cage door, hung some fat balls up in there and caught it in there. Anyway, next one, Mick. Yep, a woodpecker, great spotted woodpecker. That tree is the tree that my son brought home in as a seedling, and it was a seed in a margarine tub when he was at preschool. There's that's a female great spotted woodpecker. The males have got a red nape. I can be sitting outside in the morning having a cup of coffee, and the woodpecker will bring a young over, and they'll come down. They're about 10 foot away from us. It's the beauty of being able to see them. If you're still and you're quiet, they don't bother. Yeah. Okay, next one, Mick.
I didn't feel much at that point.
That's it.
Were we, Andy?
That was just a little bit of something different.
Oh,
Most people don't appreciate the birds that's in the garden. There was 19 pictures of birds there, and one of that burnet moth, which was in there because of Mick showing his last week.
oh.
But encourage the birds. They get rid of the insects. They get rid of the pests. The hedgehog gets rid of the slugs and snails, and you've not really got nothing to worry about. If you're starting off, you have to get everything's got to find its balance. Then you might get a few problems, but after a while, everything's hunky-dory.
Real Boston, Andy.
Okay, any questions, anyone?
Yeah. Have you noticed about ordinary starlings this year? We normally got flocks of them around here, but there's none at all.
Correct.
And but there's an abundance of robins, and I often wondered whether there was some connection between the two. You know, why have we got all the robins and no starlings?
No, well, what
I've got all the starlings in my garden.
we used to get lots of starlings around here, but we don't see them now. See very, very few. It comes and goes, but every year we do the RSP, Great British Bird Watch, and the long-tailed tit is the most common bird in our garden, but it has been for the last 2 Great British Bird Watches.
And there seems a shortage of swallows as well. You know, down the farm, we usually had, I don't know, dozens of them, it seemed, up on the telegraph wires. But now, there's only about 3 pairs down there. And was it last year or the year before, I put some platforms up in the barn in the hope they would nest in there, because my understanding is that, say, this year's young, look for next year's nesting sites before they fly away for the winter, like. So we put all them up and had no interest in there at all.
Yeah.
You know, so why?
You got a nice little blue pale egg, a pale blue egg, a bluey green egg. Used to see them after they'd hatched. They'd hatch. They make nests in holes in the get into the eaves of the house.
But there's
Not anymore.
Down the farm with all the barns and everything, you normally see them, but there's none. You know, like I say, it just seems.
We've got starlings now. Well, we did have starlings nesting in our loft, actually. After what Andy said,
Yeah, sparrows would be
we've got to get someone to take it away, because we could even walk across the ceiling.
But, you know, it does seem strange. And this year, I've got, looking at my window now, I've got 2 sparrow nest boxes that have 3 nest boxes in one. And I've got 1, 2, 3 single nest boxes, and all I've had is 1 blue tip between the lot this spring so far. You know, but why? Maybe they want proper cleaning out or something like that, you know. But anyhow, I'll let everybody get on. I've said my bit for now. Cheers now. Thanks a lot.
I'm from farming stock, and we used to get loads of sparrows, loads of starlings. You don't see them now, anything like the numbers. What you'd get swallows and house martins nesting. They're becoming rare.
Yeah, what I have noticed this morning, because there's been like 2 fields of hay cut this morning. The red kites are up looking for the mice that get chopped up in the cutter and all that. You know, there was a couple of them about earlier. But I looked out the window now and I can't see a red kite at all because I've got like woven abbey and everything at the bottom of my garden, and then I've counted up to 8 red kites out there, but there's nothing out there now. All I get is them bloody pigeons coming for the water into the garden.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Okay then, Andy.
Yeah,
Thanks for listening.
Andy.
We'll have a cuppa. Right, delphiniums. Before I job the lot, I'm still taking seeds, collecting the seeds. So I've got a good stem there. Got a nice one off him. You can see the seed pods. Oh well, they're got to drop properly. This is on the other side of the garden. Got a couple off him. That's going down the side. So I'm just hanging him on my string. I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And look, I've collected another 3 since this photo has been took. So basically, I just want 2 stems off each one, each delphinium, and they won't be dry before these gladdies in them. But we get in there. Right, I need to pot on me chest of blueberry, but I need some compost out of the bin. There's my chap there. Took him out. Next pot size up. So I put my compost in the bottom, so the old pot, which he's come out of obviously, is nice and level now, he's flush. So I know I've got the right height. So now I'm going to fill around the sides of there, which I have done. Push that down with my finger so it's nice and firm, no gaps. He will fit nicely into there. Them are the worms I took out of the compost pile, out them go straight back into the bin. Back on that one. This compost is pushed around the side again, firmed in. It'll be nice and upright, obviously. Outside, give it a nice good soaking, good watering. That's him done. Them worms go back in the bin. Look after them chaps. Right, someone else in the post. Ostromeria. This is a Inticantia white pink blush. The name on him. Was it Scott? Scott had these a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, go on, I'll send for some of them. Anyway, they come in the post same time. That's what you see. These are scented, by the way. That's what made me mind up as well. But all you do is soak them for a couple of hours. So they've been soaking away. Potted me Alstroemeria up. That's back to front. It's just showing the roots 4 legs in there. Right, now taking these bulbs out, just join that slightly before I pot them on. So these are the next size up from the plastic drinking cup. Compost halfway up, mixed with vermiculite as norm. And these will be sitting on the top, just showing above compost level. Labelling, saying what they are, nice and upright, erect. And the photo will be on next week, but there's 2 of these just showing growth, little spurt already. Like these 2 chaps that I saw, one going here, obviously, it's my line prop. Bit of Mycon rosaris, help him out. You can see how most of the plants which I had from there were root bound. So just tease these out slightly. You don't want them going round and round when you plant them out. You want to open up. Here we are. Just take your time. If you snap them off, it don't matter. There's loads more. But just tease them out. Another one went halfway down on the right hand side of the border. He's going at the front because you don't see straight through and you don't see the stuff at the back. And then Cosmea, this was a huge flower, nice bright yellow. As soon as I see it, I thought, I mean that. So I sent Ped a photo. He says, yeah, get him. Right, this corner, this is where the line prop is. This is the left-hand side of the garden going up, meaning at the top of this line prop, that's where we've got the bird feeder. So you can see all the seed that drop on the bottom, all these seedlings and grass is growing. But that is going right up this corner, because there's nothing up there, any colour whatsoever. And that one I took him out, perfect. So I put the same pot in, get him nice and level, put a bit of mic under him as well, and bung him out. I've got stuff above it. I've got him up at the top of that. But where the gaffer sits, I can see it from where I was, so that pleased her. And it's a nice bit of bright colour up that end, up that corner. Right, these two I got from Asda. Salvia Blue, Coreopus Sunkiss. It was originally, there was a poppies here, but they take over, there's a seed everywhere, trying to cut the seed heads off and catch them all, but they still get out. But there's still loads about, so I've got them out altogether, as we can see there. I put these bulbs back in, them irises. He's ready for the pot to go in, bit of mic under his iris, put the soil back in, and then put this the brickwork back on top, all the slate. And then the other one was Sunkiss. But he was a nice Boston yellow, nice and bright. Right, I'm checking this daily now. Because going back on that one, I saw a shadow on this. When I looked under the leaf the other side, that was a shadow because he was there. And that bloody green, you gotta look for them. These lot I've only got watering a couple of times. Oh, sod on. Right, Colin, grapevines. My two grapevines now are reaching the top. Well, that one is, he's beat this. So I've got to get my wires sorted out. So I'm using old washing line, because we ain't got a washing line anymore. Well, only the top bit. So this lot would be perfect, because he's going to take a bit of weight. So that'll be ideal. So I started this end, walking along the top of there, till I got to the end. And I put the wire over there, over these, under these hoops. But now I've got some plastic coated green wire to go over there, because they're not very thick. And ain't going to cut into nothing, just to keep him nice and steady in main line for my grapevine. So that's them to him. And that one now, I'm going to tie in my first tie onto that wire, so he'll be on by next week and all. But I'm doing well. Nice dark green colour they're supposed to be. And any new shoots, growth coming out all the way up to the roof, I'll take off and compost. I don't need them. And any runners as well. I want all the energy going to the top to give me a nice run ready for next year. There we am, all done. These are looking well. They're lilies, type of lily. Bananas, still cutting them up and feeding the house plants. This was last Saturday down the sheds. I made 2 of the, I think we're going to have 9 or 11 altogether. Trestles, I've done 2 at all. Saturday down yesterday, I sawed some more timber up, and that's come back home. But looking at the original one was made. Looking at my 2 compared to them, as you can see, I'm crap at DIY. Right, Steve, if I remember, sent us a few photos last week, and send me a few more. All yours, Steve, mate.
Okay, Mick. We went to one of the National Trust, Badgley Clinton, which isn't far from where we live. And I just saw how they did the Gladys it was a little bit different to putting stake in them and everything. They used their own wood off the trees, and then just put ties, strings, and just made squares. I thought it was just a different way of doing it, sort of thing. And a bit later in the year when they come out, it'd be quite interesting to see how they actually perform. Just how well that they hold the gladdies up. Next one, Mick.
Okay, mate, you still there?
Next one.
Steve?
That's just the two varieties. I think it's Sapporo, and you zoom in on the other one, Mick.
Bimbo.
Oh, that's it, Bimbo, yeah. So that's the two varieties that was in that bed. Next one. That's I think that was the second bed of gladdies that they've got. Doing the same thing again, putting the squares on, using them as supports. And that was two different. I think that one of those was espresso. Next one, Mick.
Yep, espresso.
Yeah, I've got that one. It's a dark coloured one, that is. It's like a dark chocolatey colour. Next one. And that was just in front of the house. They've got all the marigolds there and the cannellini is what you like. So I thought I'd just take a few photos just to show you. You zoom in, yeah. The cannas are in the middle there. It's quite nice as you come through the tunnel and you see them, how they've all done them out, like.
Even better when them are in flower.
Quite nice with the canna in the middle.
Yeah.
And the colours go well together as well.
I do.
That's just another angle of it there. I think the next one's the other bed they've got as well. That's it, yeah. With the red and the yellow goes really well together, and then with the colour of the cannas when they come out, that'll just set it all off, I think. Okay, that's it. Just a couple that we took when we was there.
Lovely. That's what we want. Cheers for them, Steve.
No problem.
Lost in. Oh. Oh, clear off. I've lost him and all, sorry. Right, me canna. I've got to pot him on. As you can see here, he's dropped down in the pot itself. Because it's a big one. So I'm getting my own brew, which is rubbed out rabbit muck. There's some of the muck I had off me big oss. My own compost. Spent mushroom compost. And a bit of topsoil, so he's got a good brew under his arrows. Mix all that lot up. Right, because there's large holes in the pot underneath, exactly the same again, I'm going to make a little mat underneath, stop the compost going straight through. Fill him up at the bottom till I put him in nice and level. So now I've got the depth there. Now I'm just going to fill around that outside. Once I've done that, give him a good weight to him. We weren't too root bound to pot him up into a larger pot.
Mick, the first time the wind blows with that, it'll blow it over.
It ain't done it yet because it is level. He was only on that wall just for water.
No, I mean the size of the pot is too, in my eyes, is too small. There won't be sufficient weight when you consider that's going to grow up to about maybe 1 metre high.
I know what you're saying, though.
Can you do with a wider pot?
Oh, I could do wider, not deeper. Yeah. Because he's going in, when the fruit trees go out, he's going in one of them pots with a. I don't want to go over or see where I'm coming from. Point taken. Also, the leaves here, when they've been, I don't know, watering from above or when there's rainwater and there's sand in it, but I've cleaned them off as well. And there was a bit of crap on them. And that's where he's been since. So far, got away with the chap. Sweet peas are gone loop. In fact, probably twice as large amount again, because this was last week's photo. Beans, these are halfway up the canes, so I'm going to set the last two off. Only need two, so I'll put three in. Multi-purpose compost, plastic drinking cup. Right, this one needs potting on. I put three of these in the large tub outside. This is my spare one for our little one. So I'm going to pot him on. Here's my next pot size up. As you can see, the bottom of the pot, he had a paper around him as well, to stop the compost going through the holes. So that's alright. Ideal time to pot on. The old compost was like a nitrous soil or growing medium. So I'm taking the worms out. Get the level I want. Then backfill there, which I've done in the growing mixture. New shoot coming, yes. For my top dressing again, I'm getting all the nuggets off the top of this straw and I'm breaking them down by hand. That's my top dressing off there. The roosh and core nick it now. If it was a lump, I'd nick them off there. Give them a good soaking as well. Using loads of water, as I should say everybody is now. Hounds loves to drink out of there. Right, there's our house, meaning I'm next door. Artley's told me asked me to pick some raspberries. He's got hordes on them. He never thins these out. He never feeds. He says, Artley, if you feed, you'll have larger raspberries. They'll thin out. But the same thing every year for years. Never give me keep your mouth shut. That was pretty, I ain't gonna say naff. I ain't gonna say no. Because I'm gonna make some jam with them. 1 pound of raspberries or 1 pound of fruit, whatever you're using, same amount of sugar. So if you've only got 3/4 pound of raspberries, use exactly the same 3/4 pound of sugar. And I've been using, I had this off the internet about 12 years ago. And I've been using it ever since, and it works. This was off the top jam maker. So I've got my scales, I've got my fruit. So I've got to weigh the fruit first. Just slightly under £1 pound. Same amount of sugar. It's got to be warm sugar. Best way to warm it up, microwave. Fruit in the pan, bring to the boil. Right from start to finish with this, stirring all the while. Beforehand, I've cleaned the sterilised the jars and I've put them to drain. So them are still warm by the time they have the jam go into them. If that was cold, that might have a chance of them cracking. But if you get them ready before, turn them upside down and drain it out, and they're still warm by the time you put the jam in. If that makes sense. Right, once that comes to the boil, then you're stirring sugar, stirring all the time until that sugar is dissolved. Once it is dissolved, you have rapid boil until all until all the sugar is, you know, it's mixed anyway. You've done that, but once you make rapid boil, it's about 3 minutes approx. You're stirring all the time, and that sets it. There we have. That's how it's going. Obviously, the longer the spoon, the better. Otherwise, you're going to burn your fingers. And that's rapid boil. It's usually 2.5 to 3 minutes. I always pour into a plastic jug. Because me pouring that into a jar, I hate the size of the jar. If you do it in a jug first, it's easier to pour out after, as I'm doing there. as it turned out, I just managed to get that lot in one jar. So 1 pound of fruit is a rough, just keep that in your brain. So if you do just over 1 pound of fruit, you know you fill one large jar up. Obviously there's a smaller jar. I just about scraped all this lot to fill him up. Get me a little top on it, bung him on, put the lid on. And he's ready. We stick him in the morning. Obviously you put the lid on, don't forget it's boiling hot. Leave it overnight. Here is a good one which one we've emptied. Blueberry jam from Lidl, Boston jam. But it'll be perfect for next year when I do my jam for the blueberries, obviously. Next morning, it's cooled down. First thing the judge is going to do is turn it upside down. He wants it nice and solid. If that's running in any way or moves, then you'll be down pointing. It ain't set properly. Mine has. Right, all this crap on the top, it's got to be cleaned off. Impress the judge. That's put away in the garage. So we're starting all ready for the show. I don't just bung veg in. I bung loads of things. Neil, am you on tonight? I know you ain't got no photos, but you was on the worm wheel, your name. Just want to know if you're clicked on. We'll see at the end. But Neil's got COVID as well. But he's going to update his photos ready for next week. Well, Neil. Right, filling up a waiter again. Using loads of waiter. As I say, well, there's my second waiter, but because my solar panel sits on the top of there, obviously I took him off, filled them all up. So they are full. And the lid's been off for 24 hours. And then take all the crap out. And bung him back on. Once I've got him on, I've cleaned him off as well. With a bit of kitchen roll with that water on it. It's surprising the gunk you get off there. Don't forget, if you get rain on there, you've got sand in it. It puts a layer of film on. That's just to show you where my fan is and where the solar panel is. But he gets the sun comes up here, straight over, so he gets most of the sun all day. But that's the crap. Oh, it looked clean, but that's the crap right off the top. Cleaner that is. The fan's going to go whizzing round. That's my top one next morning, so I'll clean him off as well. The 24 hour, bung the lid back on. Right, my seaweed is now ready to be chopped. In fact, just in both hands, I was breaking this up again. It's quite easy to do that. So what I'm going to do first is put in the bucket head shears, which I used to chop up my kitchen and green waste. I'm going to chop the seaweed up. You could use that as a top dressing now around most things, but I want it to work quick. Obviously that's going to be a slow release feed. The smaller you can get it, the quicker release of the goodies want them in there. The hound had a nice sniff. I must have thought, smoked that last week down Breen. I must be confused. So that's that lot done. So then I take it in the garage where my shredder is. I've got me a large bag underneath. That's a vermiculite bag, bigger than a compost bag. So I'll pull that right up. Stops all the dust, let it out. There's no pebbles or anything in here. I don't want nothing flying back up. And I'll just whiz it through twice. So he's been through one, he's been through again. Superb. While I'm in the garage, I need to get some more bits ready for me composting. So the first one is eggshells. So I'll crush them up by hand in a good strong plastic bag, as you see there. Then they go in there. Then he's switched on my grinder. Right, the eggshells are done. Next one is layers chicken pellets. Worms love these. So then go in with me eggshells. These are alfalfa pellets. Probably break 3/4 of these up. Another natural product. Obviously these are off eBay. You can grow the alfalfa, but it's time consuming, it takes up space and stuff. And these last ones are oyster shells. Worms love them as well. Them is off eBay and all. Smaller than what they were. Right, my bag of chopped seaweed, I've got that top of the garden. There's the one, no, that's the one there. That's the one out of Scott. Good lad. So them two are mixed together. So now I've got a bit of seaweed to use as a compost ingredient. Right, that was my Shire horse, that's my Shire horse muck. Here's my compost. I've just mixed kitchen and garden waste plus all my other bits. So that one's mixed ready. This one is my tortoise muck with a straw, so I'm going to chop all that off, up, throw it in there, and I've mixed that up. So that's now ready to go in the compost bin. Right, my wormery, because I've finished with it now, don't need it anymore, because I've got my system working on my own compost bin where I've got my extra worms. So all this lot can be emptied. So I've taken the cardboard off the top, because inside of that it's got goodies in it, i.e. worm eggs, poop, piddle or whatever, so I'm ripping that up and using it. It's a carbon anyway. So all that lot has been taken out and thrown in there. That's a bit blurred, but looking close up is the eggs. That's what I want out. So I'll just fill that up, then come back and empty that one. And my last tray on the bottom, which I'm lifting out to pick all them worms up and all. So that lot is going to go in there. So my first carpet I'll lift up, there's my extra worms. And there's stuff put in here 3 days ago. So that's how quick that's working. I've thrown one lot out of me wormery, put half of that on, and thrown another lot out of the wormery, and the last lot of this lot. Perfect. This is my last tray, which I'm emptying. Just have a good whiff when you have it smelling, mate. If it had gone off or going off, you have smell it when you're rubbing. But that's beautiful stuff. All the worms are still there, I'm pretty telling you. It's still good. So them lot I picked up. These lot are dried out. That lot was in the bin. As we have done there. Next thing, wear trick, liquid or smoke. Alternate with fish. Give them a change. Carpets, give them a wear trick if they need it as well. Lid on. Right, I want these to dry out. As soon as they are dry, I'm going to scrubber on them. Now the first one, because I've got this is the left hand side of the greenhouse, so I've got my gladdies this side. I'll just scrape, good, don't forget all this is good stuff. So I've scraped that lot as a top feed onto my gladdies. And the rest of it, all the trays, I started scraping it, keeping it in the tray. Right, that's him nice and clean. Anybody needs a wormery, give me a shout. Right, this is about 3:30 in the afternoon, and most of my bean canes there got the sun on them. I never realised this years ago because it was at the back of the shed. I just took it, nothing to grow there, dark and dank or whatever. But it has about 4.5, 5 hours of sun, late evening, perfect. And this rose, best year we've had so far. The blooms on it are huge. I'm just coming back again. Right, what's this? This was Black Country Living Museum. Wartime Kitchens and Gardens. This was yesterday, Saturday 9th of July. When I went down, when they asked me to do it, I did this with Darren Rudge. He's the Laughing Gardener on BBC WM. That's his own radio show, and they asked him to do a tour, to be a tour guide, morning and afternoon. He says, "Well, I called the morning. I'm on the radio." He says, "Well, I know a bloke will do it," which was me. And then when I went down, saw all out, and the wench says, "This is what you go and dress up as. Look like him." So Gordon Bennett. But I managed to get the stuff. I thought I'll make my own belt as well, because I used to have belts with a string there years ago. All the pants up. So
You got trainers on, Mick. Should be
Aye.
clogs. You got trainers on. On your feet.
Traders, them are little specials.
You need clogs, mate.
Peaky Blinder. So that was me dressed up going in. I think it was 10 o'clock they opened up. I got there about 9:30. I think my tour was 10:30. I set up all my bits. And they were just walking down. There's loads of land they keep nicking up here, because Dudley Zoo's up here. And if they lose animals or something, then obviously they're going to put so much else in the land. So they just flog the land to these lot, and they do so much else. But my mate Dave and Baz come down from Chesterfield. I was going to take the piss out of me doing my tour. We was going to have a session on the night when we were done. But my props, these were 5 I took myself. Along with these, I took baking soda, different other things. I'll cover that in a bit. But I took these lot as well, obviously seaweed. These are stuff you can get then. And I knew we could get these 3. Bloodfish and bone, hoof and horn, and bone meal. Because Starbridge Road down by us used to be a button factory. And they used to use the hoof and horn, and they used all the sawdust off the hoof and horn and the bloodfish and bone. During the war, fertilisers, the main fertilisers went to farmers, obviously. And the normal gardener couldn't get any fertiliser, so the government made this one, Grow More. They wanted to make something that was easy, so they couldn't burn things, use the wrong sort, because Grow More is 777 in NPK, feed ratio. So you can use it any time of the year on anything. Well, it's that good. You're still using it, and it's one of our best sellers down the garden club. So I took a tub of that to show, because and I got all the public. I took the names off these and got them all to have a sniff, see what they can guess what they were. But there was them lot, and I also took because I had to talk, because the insecticides they didn't have them, or they had some baddies, but obviously you got to pay for them. But baking soda, use that as a fungicide treatment. 2 teaspoons into a quarter of a pint of milk. Weed killer was a quarter cup of vinegar, quarter cup of table salt, and a quarter cup washing up liquid. Epsom salts, they could get that then. It helps improve flower blooming, and senses the plant's green colour. The plants also grow bushier. All my fruit trees get a fistful of Epsom salts twice a year. There's with the greenhouse on your Tom's cucumber with some salt. It's a good one. And it's a good foliar feed as well. So I took a dollop of that, and that was on my display as well. Obviously I did get a photo of me old gum, what was on display. And there's your highness, and there's all my followers. These was a group, I think there was short sighted or something. That's why they like this sensing. There's a sensory garden around the back, which they went to as well. But got on great. And the gaffer was there. I stayed there listening to his spiel. And at the end, it says brilliant, except for your swearing. I says what dropped out, and it says crap. I think 2 shits and something else. I said, well, if those kids that'd have enjoyed it. I said, mums don't complain. But it was a proper West Indian. You could tell it was a gospel church girl. But I got away with it. They just asked me if I'd do it again. But when I was waiting for these lot, Dave, Baz, and the wives walked straight past me because I told them I'd give them a free tour here. And they never bloody recognised me. I had to shout him. He's a tit. And his missus hadn't got a bloody clue, Lynn. And he rode on the night when I got back up. I got my bus pass out, see if it was still in date. First time I've used it. Jumped on the bus, legged it down Starbridge. And I met them. That's our date. That's our 2 judges, Dave and Baz, for our veg. Then got the women born already doing a kick. For Zoom bar they was on. I had to go on the John Smiths. He'd have had Zoom bar 3 pints, I'd have had it. I'd have been drunk. So I'll go on the John Smiths. Boston night, sat outside, got a bit chilly later on. Loopy weather. What is the hell, but it's still doesn't it going out. So I legged it inside. And I got the last bus back. Good to see you 2 boys. Right, my next talk is, where am I? This is July the 14th, Thursday. That's this Thursday coming on. Sutton Coalfield, Fuchsia and Gardening Guild. B736UA. Doors open 7:30, start 8 PM. £2 to get in if you're not a member. Talking compost. But anybody's interested, live local or whatever, just private message me or email me, whatever. Somebody's mentioned my book, said just put us a quick link on. Just put Compost Ready a month on Amazon. If anybody else is interested. And that's it, people. Next week, I got Keith Ivey that arrived up from the Hampton Court show. He's going to put them on next week. So that'll be good. Right, stop share. Oh, you're all dressed. Gordon Bennett.
The Nike Gardener was a few weeks ago, Mick, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think early June, eh? I'm just down below. Because of the hound.
I should hope so.
Paul,
Hello, mate.
I've got them tomatillas for you, mate.
I've asked Jared for the address. He replied back to me.
Oh, I know.
No, I asked Jared for your address. I was going to pop round, but
Hey, come round now if you want.
I've had a couple of stories. I'll be there.
No. Tomorrow then?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, what time?
This can be after work. After tea sometime.
Well, I'm on till 7 tomorrow. So I'll finish 7 tomorrow.
I'll come round later then.
All right.
Are you on Facebook?
Hey?
You on Facebook?
Nah, don't do that.
What's your address?
Paulie's only just on here.
42 West Road.
42 Western Avenue.
No, West Road.
I know West Road, 42. I know where it is.
You know where the Widow's Pub is, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Around the back
there.
of there.
Yeah.
All right, I'll find you.
All right, mate.
All
Give
right,
us a-
cheers, bud.
Message Joe before I'm coming. Just make sure I'm here.
Well, Joe, I was on Facebook earlier.
Yeah.
All right, cheers.
All right. Okay, mate.
Scott, you're still doing your wall?
Say again?
You still doing your wall?
Yeah.
Come on then, show it off.
Oh,
It's cruel, eh?
let me see it, can you?
Wow. You're
That's
full
brilliant,
of it
man.
all, are you?
We've got a bit of leaf mould and compost in there today. Go with the manure, so build up the manure in a week, yeah.
Get T-Rex in there.
It's getting there.
Nice job.
Yeah, getting there. So, you got the tomatillos coming, Paul?
Yeah, I am. We're gonna have some for.
Love growing them.
Never grown before.
We should have a competition, biggest one.
Tell you what, they don't half grow quick, don't they, Scott?
They do, yeah, they do.
I reckon it's grown a foot, the one in the greenhouse, in a week.
Yeah.
Easily. And it's as thick
A foot.
as my thumb now. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, need a lot of room for them, don't you?
Yeah.
They branch out, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pollination, I find, is a problem. There are not so many bees around at the minute, and they're not pollinating. I keep trying to put flower plants in front of them to try and sort of bring the bees in. But,
All right, because last year I did it in a greenhouse.
Yeah.
Closed up greenhouse. It only got the top opener on it. And there was absolutely thousands on there.
yeah, they're beautiful. Oh, I love them.
Tap the stems, Scott, when you walk past.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The tomatillos, they're not self-pollinating. They need to be pollinated by another plant. So I do sometimes go around with a paintbrush. But,
Never see them.
yeah.
I must have got away with it then. I must have been lucky.
Yeah. Normally it's okay. Just this year, I've got them out here, and there's not. I haven't seen nothing, no pods yet. You know, no.
Oh, right, I've already got some on the one I've got.
Have you?
Yeah, they're already there. Yeah. I ain't done nothing to it either. I must admit, nothing at all. Just thrown it in the pot and stuck it in the greenhouse, and away it's gone.
Are you growing big peppers this year?
Trying.
Yeah.
Them ain't doing too well. No. I think I overstressed them too much this year. Left them in the little pots for too long, I think.
Oh, okay.
So it's looking like the normally where the roots move out, the plants put on quite a lot of weight. It ain't happening.
No.
So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But still trying.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, you all right, mate?
Yeah, I'm fine, mate.
Good man.
Oh, Paul's got his top off as well.
Yeah,
What a belly.
I'm just going to show you a quick.
Seagulls don't
Hang on, Paul, I'll get my sunglasses.
I'm just going to take you outside.
You ain't going for the piddle, am you?
No.
Jesus, what?
You see that?
No.
You go see that?
No, you've disappeared. I don't know where you're gone.
I'm here.
Oh,
I'm
there you
trying
are.
to
Yeah.
turn the camera.
Yeah.
You see that now?
Yes.
Yeah, we got him.
Yeah, I'm going around. It's in my patio. Here's some of my cannons. At the back. See that?
Oh, yeah.
Dwarf banana.
Very
A
nice.
Sorrelio. That grows a flower in 5 years. More cannons. Look at that.
Oh.
Colis.
Coleus, yeah.
From Wilkie's. It's called a Gigantica or something like that.
Nice.
Geraniums. There's only one plant in there. Look at that.
That's a nice one.
Yeah. More bananas. Them tiger ones. They got like a. When they get bigger, you'll see. If you see the striping on the leaves.
Sod off.
Yeah. More bananas. Look at that one.
Oh, that's nice.
That's the red one. That's Musabagio.
Oh,
You see
yeah.
the babies on the bottom?
Oh, yeah.
The little ones. More banana, Musabagio, but I put some gladdies in. More cannons, but they're only little. Here's the passion flower, look.
Are they all
Just
moved
close
out your
up.
house now? All that side?
Yeah, there's 16 altogether.
I don't know where you
Never
go
looked
out.
cool,
that
look.
your missus.
Them last year's geraniums, I give me. That was up that corner where the banana was. And they've come back. Another banana. Anyone recognise her? No?
No.
No.
Canna. That's Canna Cleopatra. And if you Google it, you'll see the flowers amazing. Recognise that, Mick?
Yeah. House.
Yeah, that's one we had wrote. More cannas.
Summer.
What about that for petunia? What about that for petunia? Black. That's a grass I had from Caslon. Another canna. And then I got the gardens I mess. We just process cutting the edge. These are all rhododendrons. And here we got wisterias, 3 of them. Ace in the corner. Another rhododendron right off my nephew. We took it out and dug it up. Here I've got some ices. Down here, my palm tree. Just finished flowering. And calla lilies. Banana, look, I lost it. Massive stump, they protect it. It's come back, look. Here's the booty. You see? T-Rex.
Yeah.
Look. There's one leaf.
That's a good size.
It's massive. That's 3-year-old now. At the back
It's
of
going
the
to get
garden.
bigger.
Oh yeah, that's why I love it. And here we got some agapanthus, palms, hydrangeas coming to flower. First time in 2 years. They flowered for 2 years. Don't know why. Yeah, that's what Collins had. That's a japonica. That's about 7-8 year old now. Here's my tunnel. Bit messy, but chilies. As you know. And I put some gladdies in. Some gladdies. This one's a scorpion. And this one's a reaper. You just see, if you can see the flower it's coming on.
Yeah.
There. And then my baby reapers I'd have. Those tiny. That one's really sick. Look, tomatoes. Yellow cherries. Get down here. Cucumber. More reapers. I'm only small, but who knows. Top dressed with rabbit and guinea pig. Another banana. You're looking sick.
How many banana plants have you got there, Paul?
16. 16.
Okay, right.
16.
With them pups, I'll probably have about 21. Cucumber, seaweed off me, more reapers. Scott, recognise her? It's coming on slowly. You chilly?
Oh,
Left
yeah.
a bit.
That Metru picture or something.
Yeah.
That's in right.
And here I've got the big bell pepper Mick gives me. And then, it's one of the cucumbers I planted.
Young.
In serranos. Here I had from Lidl, orange trees. And they really come on since I've been in the tunnel. More reapers.
Nice size tunnel, Paul.
Yeah, 6x3. In here we've got some more reapers. In there I've got the little melon, Q melons.
Oh, cucumber melon, yeah.
Within a week it's grown. It wasn't touching the sides, it's going up now. So that's just a week's growth. Passion flower dug up. I'm trying a watermelon here. Watermelon. Yeah, I did some your late. These are the white Norgas you sent me.
Oh, yeah.
I did them late. Thought I'll just try them.
Yeah.
Nothing's growing. I've chuffed them in. Look at it.
Yeah.
They need watering. Look, they need
catch
water.
up, don't they? Yeah.
So I need some more French beans. Couldn't be French beans across the plot with shit. Less than a week now. Some leeks. Look, flowers on my chilies. And over there we got some fig trees. I had from Lidl. And a free bumblebee. Look. Anyone recognise her?
Your arm.
No, not my arm. That.
So we can see you, Plonk.
What's that? You don't know, do you?
Of course, see you, right. Go left a bit with the camera.
Rock salt.
Epsom salts. Gonna be hard in the tunnel.
You going in there as well?
Yeah. Epsom salts. I'm glad he's in the tunnel from China. Or if they come true colours. But we'll wait and see. In this bucket here. Maybe banana leaves die off. I'll whack them in the bucket. And if you can smell it, it pongs, man. Everything I've water with, couple of weeks, Goes mad.
Yeah.
And the water's black. Just the banana leaves in a bucket. I should have put the leaves into a SEM bag. Every time you water, you get a leaf stuck in a freaking can.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I might empty, take the leaves out in a bag.
Yeah.
That's a tour, guys.
Nice.
Simple.
It will be eventually, and they're just good. Look.
Yeah.
That's the view from the house. And they're all in colour. Great.
Smashing.
There's got to be
And
a
there's
way
me.
I can click on each piece, surely, to enlarge it. Ben's coming back Wednesday.
Mm.
There's got to be a way I can click on that.
Yeah. And when the passion flowers out, you missed one bit of garden. They call it pet cemetery down there. There's a few pets buried under there.
Oh yeah.
Recognise that, Mick?
Good fertiliser.
Recognise that? No, the planted tit. That there. The lily brought me.
Oh,
And there's some pinks. They're looking dodgy, but I'll put them in.
Black Country
Yeah.
Museum wouldn't have you talking, not with that language, mate.
And down there, if you can see it, there's a blue. I did last week for passion flower. I had the red
Nice.
one there last year, but I lost it.
Rosie.
Yeah. And 2 camellias. So that's the Mrs. Fuchsia bed. Likes the fuchsias. And that's what happened to me, lily, at the corner. When the rain hit it, it's flattened it. So next year I'll build a frame and put it all in. And I missed some bananas. I've got 3 bananas behind here.
Good shit.
One there. One there. And
Yeah.
there's one more. There. And that's all my bananas. Bengal tiger, they're called.
Yeah.
When they get bigger, there'll be stripes in them.
That's nice.
A bit like that one there. That is, I can tell you. There you go. Cavendish dwarf.
Ah.
But sometimes Cavendish dwarf don't mean dwarf. They obviously them at 10 foot. So in a few years, they'll be like Jamaica. In
Yeah.
Colligate. I'm going to finish my side off now.
Cheers, Paul. That was a nice little bonus for the
Yeah.
trip.
Roosy bonus. Oh, well, I got aloe vera plant. Aloe vera. And some strange bloke Thursday gave me this.
Nice. Good stuff.
Yes. So that's my tour anyway.
Good man.
Tried that pour and feed I showed you last week.
What's that?
Miracle Grow I showed you last week.
Oh,
I used a whole tub on one sesh for that. I'll tell you what, some of the weaker plants, you can see the difference in about 5 days.
yeah.
You see, some of my chilies are struggling. I'll give them an extra cap. I've got 2 more to go. So I'm going to try it on all the chilies now. The original price is £5 a tub. We put a cap per, depends on how big the pot is, your plant. So it could work out expensive if you're doing big plants. So I left it just the smaller, weaker ones. So. That's my spiel, guys.
Are you and
When
Paul
you-
on the Colligate calendar, Mick?
Hey?
Are you and Paul on the Colligate calendar?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ma.
When you having a T-Rex, Scott?
Hey?
When you having a T-Rex?
We ain't got room for that.
We got a house down there, we got solar lights under it. And before we started to grow, the lights used to work. Now the lights under there don't work.
No, I bet they don't.
No.
Massive leaves, aren't they?
They are huge. I love it, man.
Yeah.
I paid £40 for that on the market on Facebook 3 years ago, and I thought I'll have a tropical bed. Did that, and that's just 3 years growth. And it was about, when I bought it, how big was it? It was just maybe over 1.5 foot tall. Just a
Yeah.
stump with a few leaves on and mush. You don't have to protect it, nothing. Just leave it. I think when all the leaves fall off, it looks like a stick.
Yeah.
Stick and everything. They start to come back about May, April. I mean, down by you, it won't get much frost, would it?
Nah, probably not.
It'll go even quicker.
Bit milder down here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Been over 30 degrees today.
We're in tunnel this afternoon. I was getting water about 6 o'clock. Still 25, 30 in there.
Yeah.
43 in mine today, Paul.
Cool. That's too hot.
Yeah.
I've got 2 gauges in mine. One at the door, one at the sunny part where the sun comes up first. And it was hotter this morning in the sunny part. It was 35 in the one part and 40 in the other. And it cooled off a bit. The one year I went down there and opened the door up. Got my glass on, opened the oven door, all my glass was steamed up. I've got mushrooms growing again in there. I have mushrooms. 1 chili plant. Sorry, the mushroom growing. So I don't know what I'm doing right.
Does anybody know that when the you know these digital thermostats and that, does anybody know when they read HHH what it's trying to tell you?
Hot, hot.
Hot, hot, hot. Yeah, but that was what I got on the maximum and minimum.
I don't know.
HHH, unbelievable.
Is that the battery operated ones, Paul?
That's the one, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you might find that it's try changing the batteries.
Right.
They quite often do that as you're getting it to the end of the life of the battery.
All right. Okay.
I've got them on my fish tanks, and
Oh no, you mentioned that.
it comes up with a spurious number.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It just like it's got a maximum minimum temperature. Well, we've been away for a week, so I just clicked on the maximum minimum to have a look, see what it was. Like I say, it just lit up HHH on the maximum, so I would have thought it would have. It's obviously got a cut-out point of what it will register by the look of it. But what that is, I've no idea.
Yeah.
Okay,
troops.
Yep.
Right.
See you guys.
Yeah.
See you
Thanks
tomorrow.
Nice to see you all. See you next
Ta-ra.
week.
All right.
Yeah.
See you people.
Ta-ra.
Bye.
Bye.
Paul.